You're missing XQC's meltdown? Bro, is that still going on? Like, are you kidding me? For real? Oh my god. Like,
Nope.
as if she'd take a deal for $10 million.
Nope.
Change the kick for $10 million contract. Okay.
No, and it's not because I got like $10 million. It's just because I'm good as I am. Why would I compromise my morals and ethics for more money when I have money? Something about that
But
is...
it would also make her look bad, to be fair, right? It would definitely make her look bad. Because, like, she went so hard against it, and then...
Did she?
You know, it would definitely make her look bad.
Yeah, I mean, like if
So
if she didn't like oppose it, I don't think it'd really matter all that much. Like, yo, I don't care who you are, unless if like freaking babies are being like lobotomized. Like, yo, $10 million just to stream on a particular platform. Like, there's not like. Yeah, sure. People gamble on Kick. Yeah, sure. People like to pretend that they're adjacent to a hot tub on Kick. None of that matters for your own content. You're just doing it on a particular platform. Like let me pop this bad boy up. The one thing that I think like a lot of like content creation gurus like will mention that like I'm like really like for is never like settle unless if like you're doing it for unless if it's like your business thing. Like, don't dedicate yourself to just one platform. If you want to be on YouTube, be on YouTube. You want to be on Twitch, be on Twitch. You want to be on Kick, be on Kick. None of that matters. You're offered. Actually, wasn't it? It was. Was it only 10 million? I thought he was offered more. Yeah, it was a hundred. Yeah. XQC was offered 100 million. I'm like. No one, I mean, unless if it's making, like, he has to do gambling content and he has, like, morals and ethics against gambling. Unless if, like, that's the case, then, like, that's $100 million. Like, I'm extensively working on like other things to do with like as a career path, because like where I'm currently at is not like good enough for like my family and myself. Like we do not like, we're not in like comfortable living. We are constantly like, I need better work. $100 million would be way more than enough. Yo, I could probably be settled with like just $1 million. Like, that'd be more than enough. But like, yo, I like, you got to take care of your own. And like, I'm sorry, like nothing about Kick's ethics are even that bad. So like, as long as like if she's good, she's good. Like, she don't gotta worry about it. But like, I'm not good.
To me personally, like,
This is a
I
44-minute
understand,
video.
you know?
We're gonna do this a little bit accelerated. Do like 1.5.
If you need to make money, right? For me to do cringe shit when I have I can't. Like, ew.
Like, yeah, if you have to do stuff, then we could like figure something out. Like, or then it's more understandable to like try to like figure out whether or not you can do the 100 million, 10 million, whatever. If there's specific things that they want you to do, but if they're just asking you to stream on their platform, yo.
Can someone put this into words better than I can? It's almost embarrassing.
Oh, okay. So she wouldn't go to Kick? Okay.
How about we talk about the Amazon and the DraftKings deal? How about we talk about that? Or we're talking about...
That's true. And sports betting is the most popular type of betting. He is right about this. That's a fact.
her close friends that all took ACR deals. Or we could talk about her other close friends that took stake deals that gambled on a daily, which ended up using more of their audience than I did for Gamba, and actually had more stream hours on the sites than I did. What about those?
Regulated versus non-regulated gambling? I mean, to me, is that like a big difference to me? Like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like they're both like, it's still gambling, right? I mean, fuck.
Oh, okay.
I have no clue.
Those aren't morally and ethically bankrupt, are they? Okay, got it. Makes sense.
To me personally.
Gotcha.
Because it's like, really, the question is like, if you want to, because this is really what the question is, right? Is like, if you have a moral, if this is like a moral thing, is the regulated gambling moral too? Like, is regulated gambling moral, but unregulated gambling is immoral? I feel like these are just both different shades of gray. Like, maybe unregulated gambling is...
I don't even see them as, like, different shades of gray. I see them as the same shade of gray, but, like, you know how, like, when it has, like, that serial number, hashtag 0096BA2, the other one is 0096BA1, and it was a misprint. That's what I feel like this is.
More immoral than regulated gambling, but they're both immoral, right? I mean, fuck, I think they are. Sure. Regulated just mean the right people getting the cut. I mean, regulated could also mean that it's more useful or better off for them. Pretty soon, what's this shit?
Have you responded to Ausinox's gift of prophecy? Yeah, I saw.
I saw this. Yeah, this shit was actually
The art
funny
really
as
heats
fuck.
up when Kick signs XQC for 100 million.
He said this in Feb. That's actually so fucking crazy. Like, that's his editor, Hassan's editor, fucking Nostradamus this shit in fucking February. Isn't that nuts?
February 3rd. Have you responded to Ausinox's gift of prophecy? Yeah, I saw. The art really heats up when Kick signs XQC for 100 million. He said this back in fucking February 3rd.
That is crazy. Holy fucking shit.
I love HoneyBook. It handles everything from proposals, contracts, payments, everything I need on one platform.
Stop.
Hammer time.
At that point, if somebody uses the fund that they have, right, a portion of it, to make it a project that is on its own, it's a standalone project, to be a competitor of Twitch. Why?
You can't compare one person hitting the lottery to to a company that owns a crypto gambling website.
Okay.
That's just not a fair analogy.
So since you're all about the numbers, I'm sure you know how much money the people actually made off that website, right? I think
I don't. How would I know that? Do you know?
Um,
It's clearly over 100 million.
it's pretty public. Yeah, they have a lot of money, and you understand that the project is not a crazy amount of comparison, right? The whole thing is not a lot of comparison. It's like a fun project, right? And
He's right about this.
from my understanding, how they
You know,
talk,
like-
not the
I don't really follow XQC. What is with his background? Where's all his stuff? He looked like he got robbed.
train,
Yeah.
not the degenerates,
I just missed his streaming gear.
actual people at the top,
Yeah,
right?
he's right about this.
They want to make a good product.
That
That's
be
it. They want to make
that being said, all I have is a wall. So like but I put a light on it. Like, yo.
That's great.
Okay. And when the product is standalone from Gamba and nothing is linked directly to it in whatever fucking capacity they want to make it, and the people that are signed, nobody does Gamba, everybody signs to just make content and be about live stream, then what the fuck is the problem?
I'm not trying to tell you, objectively or not, if Kick is a problem, okay? I'm just saying personally, the position that I hold in this industry, the things that I've stood for and against in the past, I personally would not make that change due to where the money that is funding Kick and all of the streamers that it signs exclusively comes from. I am not okay with that root source.
Yeah, that doesn't track because you're on Twitch. It's like, yo, I understand if you just don't like how Kick looks. Let's go surface value. Kick looks like a copy and paste Twitch, but everything is one to two things. Either gambling or, you know, the hot tub girls, right? It is the same thing with Rumble. Rumble looks very identical to YouTube in terms of like kind of crux layout. It's at least not as copy and paste. It's more of a Photoshop YouTube, right? But the difference between Rumble and that is that Rumble's mostly like just like a bunch of political propaganda, and like it's kind of like how Kick feels. Like, it's not a fun environment because it doesn't look fun, right? I don't think going off of like where all this money comes from is like a good stake, because of the fact that both places have money that comes from places. That's not a good place for the money to come from.
And the proximity to it.
That's fine.
That's it. And if someone else wants to make a different decision, or the website becomes good and people enjoy, that's
Yeah,
great.
well, that's
I'm
it.
just speaking personally to me.
That's
yeah,
fine.
Except then you spoke for me, saying I'm okay with those things when I'm not okay with that concept. The way you put it, that's not even why I was in it to begin with. So like you kind of just spoke for me.
What concept are you not okay with?
Oh, that I'm somehow like morally bankrupt for the decision that I made or whatever. Because after
I didn't call you morally bankrupt. I said this is where
She
my
implied
morals
it.
and ethics stood in the past, and it would be weird for me to change my stance on them.
No, I don't think she did, though. I mean, okay, so like, it's kind of like I wonder how I could like easily explain it. It's kind of like one of those situations to where like if you choose to like you don't want to eat a certain thing, like I don't know, like broccoli. You don't want to eat broccoli. Maybe just all green foods in general. You don't want to eat it, whatever, right? Like, and the whole reason, I don't think that's a good analogy at all. You can call it an implication, but it's just, if she has like a particular reason why she doesn't want to do the thing, and that reason is because of where the money's coming from. That being said, I don't think it's like a good reason just because of the fact that the money's always coming from somewhere bad. So like, it's like, it doesn't make sense in general, but that's her reasoning, right? So it's not saying that you're a bad person for doing that. It's just that she has actively shown that her morals would make her hypocritical if she switched over. That's what she's, I guess you could say, implying. It's not saying that you yourself are a terrible person for it. It's just she would be if, like, she conflicted her own personal morals. I think that's more of what it was about. And then, yeah, you just, XQC just took it personally.
Just being offered multi-million-dollar contract. I specifically said for you, you made it. I mean, you did partnerships with stake. You've always been okay with that, right? If you think that that's morally void, that's you.
And then I was also after learning and in talks, I've understood that I genuinely believe, and I wouldn't have signed it if this was a whole true gamble operation. I don't think understand it. I would have never signed it. Because
does your contract have a stipulation?
Nope, zero. If you sign an NDA, I'll show the entire thing, right? And I'll give you the right.
Fun?
And I'll give you the right to say whether or not there's anything of gambling in it.
That's kind of fun.
Be careful though. When there's NDA though.
Okay, so yeah, he just. Okay, yeah, his contract is just about streaming on the. This goes to what I was saying, yo. Like, it doesn't matter the platform, and it shouldn't matter to you. Your ethics, sure, whatever, but like, as long as you're not personally selling out to yourself, like, if you're like super advocate towards something, and then someone's like, I'll pay you to hate that thing and do the exact opposite. As long as that's not the case, like, that's when, like, it's like kind of wishy-washy. But yo, I mean, like, he's able to do what he loves, do what he wants to, and he's gonna get a pay bump. Like, yo.
No, it means that you can't say shit about anything, which is kind of, you have to be careful. Because
I didn't know that.
Well, I'm just saying that.
Yeah, of course.
I would give you the right to say that there's no gamble at the end. That's it. If that's the truth. Otherwise, not. Not enough?
I mean, sure.
Okay, so then.
First NBA blog. Okay, regardless, do you now understand what I was saying? And how it's not only that it wasn't personal towards you, I actually separated it in a way where it's like, that does not make XQC bad, because his opinion has been the same from the start.
Yeah,
just like my opinion has been the same from the start.
I just feel like, I just feel like if since you're not the vision, you don't understand it, right? is that you know something like, oh, like it's about my dignity and whatever about you. It's because when you say, oh, for me, moral ethic, for me, dignity, and then for him, blah blah blah. It by implication,
No,
it's kind of like shots fired.
He's right. He's right.
I don't have those things.
She's clearly implying
by
this.
default, it's how you're gonna sound.
Is really? You feel like that's what's being implied? That's really? I wouldn't have felt that way at all. Like, not in the slightest, because everyone has different fucking morals, and that's okay. Look at this. Her morals don't have a problem with her friend doing a set thing. She just had a problem with herself doing that thing. That was her problem. That was it, right? So, like, I just, like, that's a mind-blowing. That's the implication. I feel like that's just, like, taking it so personally. That's so weird to me. I feel like I need to think about that. Like, why am I thinking that differently? Like, I mean, like, it's very basic. If he's okay with, like, gambling and shit, he could be okay with gambling and shit. That doesn't mean her morals are that, and it doesn't mean that she thinks less of his morals for it. It's just her morals don't care for that direction. Like,
I understand how it might sound that way, but
because
that
it is.
wasn't my intention, and the reason I mentioned you is so that it would make it clear that I am speaking to how it would look for me specifically.
And I agree with her too. That's true.
Your dignity kind of goes down when your opinion changes based on how much money someone's willing to give you. But for you, right, that should not be applicable or the case because you have stood by it the whole way through.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you or anyone else would indicate
yeah. See, he's taking it so personally because he's not actually listening to what she's saying. That's what I feel like this is. He's taking it so I'm hearing him, or like I'm hearing his thoughts. That's what I feel like is going on. Like, I hear how triggering this is. Like, that's crazy. Let's go back. Let's go back to that. What was that? We'll try right there.
down when your opinion changes based on how much money someone's willing to give you. But for you, right, that should not be applicable or the case because you have stood by it the whole way through. So I don't know why you or anyone else would implicate yourself.
Because his opinion never changed. But for her to do it, it would mean that her opinion changed. She was paid to change her opinion. That is all she was saying. That is all I was getting out of this. Like, yo.
Like, the shoe doesn't fit, right? It shouldn't fit.
Okay, inherently, that does make sense. I think just the way you word it kind of implies it by default. So, like, it kind of does make sense.
Honestly, I thought that the way I worded it might implicate that too.
Yeah,
which is why I tried to call out you as an example where it makes sense for you, but it wouldn't make sense for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense. The dignity part, though, I feel like
Also, I think your viewers are whispering my subs and harassing them. If
Okay, check on that.
maybe that could not happen, that would be nice. Like, let's be for real. Also, me and X, we're friendly enough that we can just hop on a call. It's gonna be okay. We can all relax a little bit.
That's true. Yeah. It did sound.
And also, X, I'm sure throughout your career there's been a lot of people who maybe like say one thing to you and then say some shit on stream. Like, I've been there, done that. I don't want to be one of those people. So if it ever seems that way, let's just talk it out.
Yeah, fair enough. No. I mean, that doesn't make sense. Okay, so the only problem is that it's always by implication. Anything that has sound does a lot. That's all. It does that a lot. I did that a lot of days. It's always by implication.
I am not Hassan.
I know. Well, it does. And then people
me-
do this. Let me tell you. Because listen, everything I do in life is all in, right? And I know for a fact that at our points in I guess wealth or money, you understand that if there's not something that makes you feel fulfilled, no matter how much money you have, you're gonna be fucking miserable, right? And it's why it took so many months for me to consider this deal initially, because I had to believe in the project. I had to believe that it was something that could be doable. If I had a part in making it successful and making it a competitor and actually putting it on top, that was like super like how would you call that?
Fulfilling.
Like, holy fuck. If
Gratifying.
if the stream part ends up not being too crazy, what about it? I don't think it matters that much because I want to make decisions and do cool shit that's like, almost like almost like a passion project. And the passion itself I had in the project is enough self-fulfillment, right? That money can't buy. Right? And that's something that on Twitch I haven't had in a long time.
Yeah, I understand. Listen, dude, you don't have to justify your decision to me. or anyone else.
Well, I'm telling you.
I feel like you feel the need to, and I'm sure there are a lot of people attacking you over it right now.
That's true.
Like,
She's right about this.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm not one of them.
No,
I was saying, you know, maybe if Hassan takes the kick deal, that might be a little weird.
Nah, he wouldn't. I already asked him when I was visiting your house. I asked him if he wanted to. And he said he wouldn't.
I found that weird.
Yeah, I'm talking about me, my stance. That's it.
I don't-
You're lucky
I don't
to
know
be
a
in there.
particular
I know
reason
you're
why
like
he
another
wouldn't.
in the year, probably in like 8 months. I mean, it is what it is. Listen, it's what it is.
XQC
Even if you want to talk, you wouldn't be able to, right?
He's saying that she has
As
a
you
Twitch
said,
contract.
contracts end. So also for
Yeah,
talking
he's
to
saying
you
that she has a
agrees,
Twitch contract.
For people being like, oh, you're just upset that X got the deal and not you. Wouldn't it make more sense if I wanted a deal to not be talking the way that I am? Because as you said, you know, maybe my contract's up in like 6 months. Shouldn't I be sucking up to kick if I want a deal?
You don't have to explain it to me. You don't have to explain it to me. You don't have to justify it to me. Same mentality here applies, but at the same time, it's like, if you're locked in, I mean, you're locked in, right? Like, I don't know how long your agreement is.
Not forever, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I know. Because I know for a fact. I mean, listen, this isn't like a corporate secret. Like everybody knows this. It's like,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could see why. I mean, like, you watch that original clip, and it certainly seems like she's throwing shots at people going to kick, right? I mean, it's obvious that that's what it is. I think it makes sense for her to say that, like, yeah, obviously I wouldn't want to go because, like, I came out so hard against it that if I went now, it would make me look really bad. Like, for sure. Like, both of these things can be true. I think it's probably just an instance of, like, people
Yeah,
that clip
see,
shit out of
like
context
that
and then turn it into something
in
it's not.
in that sense, like that's why it's like, yo, why are you going so hard on it? Yo, you can critique it, sure, anything, and this is anything. This is valuable, useful information for life in general. You can critique as much as you want, but like, don't burn a bridge before you've even made it to it. Like, makes no sense.
But it did seem kind of passive aggressive in that way. Yeah, definitely. When she called X her friend, I was playing manipulation, bro. I mean, I'm sure they're friendly off stream for sure. And she didn't say that they were friends. She said that they were friendly enough to have a conversation. Pokimane is the kind of person that chooses her words very carefully. I can respect that because I do the same thing. But, you know, if you listen to what she actually said, she didn't say that. You're missing the drama.
I know this sounds absurd, but the day someone sets up a relay account and is deployed profit first is the day they become.
Oops.
I don't want to watch this all day.
Like hiding my genuine perspective on a certain thing,
Here we go.
which is that like gambling is bad, right? Or unregulated, especially unregulated
I think
crypto gambling
X
is
used
bad.
the
I think they're
wrong
all bad.
term.
Yeah, I think so too.
what?
I think you used the wrong word because that
yeah.
wouldn't be dog whistling.
I
Coded
maybe you were
language.
trying to say,
Yeah.
you were
Implication.
trying
Maybe.
to
Shit, did I misspeak?
Ander?
Unlucky.
Yeah, it's just a word. I don't know
Pandering,
what word he
maybe?
was trying to. Yeah, maybe. But I don't think it's dog whistle. Dog whistle is kind of.
I don't even know what it would be. I don't
say
even know what I was
something that only a
pandering
certain
about.
group of people will understand. So, X, you want to maybe clarify what you were trying to say?
Yeah, I mean,
Virtue signaling?
Yes, maybe that one.
Not really.
I think
Virtue
it's-
signaling.
oh,
High
not
roading?
That one?
Please
Maybe
clarify.
high roading?
I'll
Not this turning into a vocab lesson.
I'll clarify. I feel like this whole like link together thing. I think it's like we talked about it like many times, and you guys keep like it's almost like you.
The world here belongs to the
Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! I need to get Twitch Turbo or something, man. Like, this is just.
World premiere trailer now on YouTube. Want to know what's absurd?
Oh my god.
Go talk to them.
Yeah, I feel like I'm watching Dragon Ball Z again. It's like tune in next week.
So my friend was going live, and like I had to go through 7 ads for that.
Right?
Just general business deduction.
Sure, go ahead. Continue.
Here's this is still technically speculation.
Twitch is crazy.
That, but when I look at stake and I see the top category being like predominantly owned by slots gamblers who are gambling on stake.
Yeah,
when
that does
I see that
sound
the
like
website was
Hassan. I
created by
wasn't
the
sure
owners
if
of
it was or
stake,
not.
when I see that like some of the largest content creators outside of like Aiden and yourself and Bruce that they've recently picked up are oftentimes like the most consistently sizable audiences are often going to be roulette like gambling players, right? So that's one reason. That's not the main reason. The main reason still obviously is that it's owned by Stake, by the owners of Stake. It was created with consultation from Trainwrecks, who was
No,
a
it wasn't.
major.
People need to stop
He
this.
was a major slots player on Twitch.
Wrong.
And it was
Wait,
basically
wait.
I mean, wrong,
created after.
wrong. Yeah, Train. Listen, I love Train. Okay, no, this is like a Train. Train's involvement is extremely minimal. Okay, and
Well, I think at this point,
Train
during
likes
its
Train.
creation,
Nope,
you know,
nope.
Train was like its main spokesperson. I think that's hard to refute.
That's irrelevant. Whoever actually is spokesperson, he wasn't appointed as, and in terms of the whole site as a whole and how big he is, he's eclipsed in both equity, influence. influence size just because his clips go on
He
LSF.
has equity.
Just because his clips go on LSF about it doesn't mean he owns websites. I think you guys are overplaying his involvement by a long shot because it makes sense for the
I
argument.
think
It's
Hassan was
disingenuous.
just referring to his early.
As somebody who knows more than a public.
Yeah,
I was talking about his consultation. I don't even think he's a. I didn't say he's a co-owner.
Yeah,
I didn't even know he
right
had
about
equity
this.
until you just said it. I
I'm
just said
saying.
trains consultation and development of the platform.
Apparently, his Twitch bio says co-owner of Kick. So.
Yeah.
So that means by default that's what it means.
And Trainwreck has tweeted about how he's the third largest owner of Kick. I promise we will never touch your sub revenue.
Okay. And do you know what are the size by comparison? Third could be anything, and you know that, right?
Okay,
We're not
we're
gonna
getting
argue
lost
how
in the
involved he
semantics.
is. Yeah,
We're
it
getting
doesn't
lost in the
matter.
semantics of the conversation.
No, that's extremely
We're
important.
getting lost in the semantics of the conversation. I didn't even know that Train was, again, like a part owner, let alone the third owner, right? I don't care about the size. Even as a consultant, hiring Train specifically especially after crypto gambling was banned on Twitch, makes it seem like the timing is relatively odd. It's a little suspicious to launch this initiative so publicly immediately after crypto gambling was eviscerated on Twitch. It seemed like they were looking for a new avenue where they could just continue live streaming and get an ROI that way by utilizing like a live streaming platform, whether it's their own or whether it's another big website that they could be streaming easily on, so that they could keep driving traffic to Stake. This is my speculation, given the fact that it's mostly owned by Stake, and live streaming is not necessarily a profitable venture to get into. It's a loss leader for Amazon, and Amazon is a fucking major company, right? Their goal is to basically capture the
I'm not
entire
sure if it's a
market
loss leader or
and then
not.
start figuring out, once they have monopolized the live streaming space, start figuring out how to fill the inventory and start making it more profitable.
Yeah,
This
sure.
is Amazon's goal.
What's wrong with
A
that?
separate goal also is to beef up their IBS structure, which is when they go to websites like Kick or when they go to Stake, and Stake says, hey, we want a white label live streaming website, and Amazon sells them that product, which I believe Twitch gets, I don't know the back end of that, but I believe Twitch might even get a percentage of that as well. So
I don't know.
That's crazy. I hope you get clipped and you're up on Dexerto and people are shitting on you for that take.
well, okay. First
She's
of
so
all,
mad about what I
I
said.
think that if there's one person who gets shit on fucking Dexerto all day, every day, I'm getting cooked nonstop. That's not even. I do know that you do get shit on unjustifiably on a lot of stuff, but trust me, I'm getting clapped up all the time on that.
From what I've been told by many Twitter users, there's no relationship or benefit to Twitch for the fact that Kick is using Amazon services.
Well, I think it's kind of irrelevant. I think it's kind of like flexing daddy's money, but that was my argument on that one.
Oh, that's actually a good take. So that was an interesting one, at least. You said it's like flexing daddy's money. I don't really understand that, because like I probably have shit on Amazon, the parent company of Twitch, more than you have. I mean, we've had fucking conversations where I've shit on Amazon. I am the single largest human donator to the Amazon Labor Union, which Jeff Bezos is openly antagonistic towards. I'm not exactly fond of Amazon. As a matter of fact, I've mentioned that when we were talking about how like Kick is basically single-handedly kept alive by Stake, I talked about how Amazon's hands are not necessarily clean either.
I mean,
he's right.
I don't know why you thought
This is actually why I thought that like Hassan wouldn't have any particular qualms about going to Kick, but I guess he has no interest in it at all either. To be honest, I'm just expecting everyone to just jump on YouTube and call it done.
That's
Just,
just like
you're warning-
defending daddy's money.
Your warning is a little soft on the Amazon part. Okay, let's use actual adult words. Okay, yeah. Twitch is maintained by the inhumane practices and actual life squeezing, sweatshop-like conditions of employees. Okay, continue.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean, if you're gonna use the harsh wording for Kick, use the same harsh wording for Twitch and Amazon.
I have.
Twitch
You're
and Amazon
literally repeating something
are
I
bad.
said.
Yeah, but
maybe you
just
didn't
now-
hear me say it,
just
but
now
I
you
have
did.
said that exact same thing.
Yeah, but just now you did. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah. I'm not saying that like Amazon is infallible. I've never said that. As a matter of fact, I want to fix Amazon's labor practices. It's probably never gonna happen. Let's be fucking real. But
Yeah.
I'm perfectly aware of that. Okay.
Maybe
I
we
think
should
that's
all donate.
bullshit. I think that's bullshit for the record. I've heard you literally defend sweatshops against moist critical, so I don't know what your take is on that matter. But
sweatshops go hard.
Sweatshops go
yeah,
hard.
you and I have a difference in opinion on that. But overall, that doesn't change the reality with
They do go hard.
Kick's
They
funding
go so hard
mechanism
that people in
being
there
Stake,
die.
and Stake
He's
being
right.
a marketing arm, in my opinion.
Actually, we'll
Kick
probably watch
being a
that
marketing arm,
next,
in my opinion,
'cause I
directly
think
to
there
funnel
was- I think
more
that's-
active
that was
users
one of
onto
the-
Stake.com.
Thank you.
One of the
Like,
videos-
I understand if you maybe want to compare the two, but I don't even think they're comparable.
What do you mean?
How direct streaming and supporting and let's say working with Kick, who's entirely funded by Stake, versus streaming on Twitch, who is owned by Amazon.
I mean, you're always
Amazon,
gonna.
obviously.
I mean, it's by proximity.
There's a lot of flip shit there, too.
At least initially, you're always gonna have a close proximity. That's like fucking. That's like your family. You're always in some business like farming, and then the fucking get
Just saying you
the
gotta
kids are
start
coming
somewhere,
around
which is
the
true.
idea of farming. When it's in close proximity, of course, like it'll be like that initially, right? But as it expands, many conclusions about where it's going and where it's gonna be, right? By
What's the
ratio,
argument?
it's like, oh,
Wait, how did we make conclusions about where it's going and where it's gonna be?
Wait, that's the whole basis of the conversation. The argument is that it is
No,
it is made to fund gambling, and it is made and
Yeah,
it's
the
an
basis
effort
of their
to
argument
reignite
is that
fucking casino shit so they can
it's a
remake some of the
theoretical.
money on the platform. That is a
It's true.
big. You just said that. Like you
Wait,
guys,
so you don't think?
I
that's the
think
case?
that's a return on their investment. Yes, that's the
I
reason why they're
disagree.
investing so heavily.
I disagree in ridiculous capacity. Yeah, I disagree with that 100%.
What do you, well, you have more insider information than we do, so
Yeah.
I would love to hear your perspective on it. I might not agree with it, but
If
You
I-
might
what
have
do you
some
think?
insider information, but X, don't you also think obviously Kick wanted to sign you, so obviously they're probably going to tell you whatever you want to hear.
Wait,
That's not really true
What?
because you got to sign a contract.
if
Yeah,
I
you
had
can
the
sign
idea,
contract
they
no matter
want things to be about Gamba. They were talking about Gamba.
They
It was
can't
not my
lie to
contract,
them.
I just told you. Gambling was never even in any talks of any kind. Not even
I
a
know, but
slight part
I
of
feel
it.
like it's a little bit disingenuous to pretend that they don't care about Gamba or that that's not a prioritization on the streaming
Well,
platform that they created because they saw how profitable gambling streams were.
That's how it felt to me in terms of I saw the roadmap and I'm building the roadmap, right? Everybody.
Yeah, but you were talking about it signing him. They could care about gambling, you know, all the live long day, but if they deliberately signed a contract to, I mean, like, this could just be a marketing ploy for like awareness, just to get people on the platform. That's what I really think this is. I think this is just like more about getting people on Kick right now than it is about getting those people and to start gambling. Maybe eventually that's the long-term goal, that's the far-term goal, but the thing of it is, if I don't know, if you have like a bunch of good streamers that are actually about, you know, making good fair content and fighting for good fair morals and ethics and stuff like that, might be able to do something. But then again, if that was the case, you know, stuff would have changed with Twitch forever ago.
It's going to come up this month. It's going to be massive this month. I'm not trying to be act like trying. Oh god, it's going to be crazy. No,
Yeah.
this month is going to be absolutely unhinged. And most of the guys that are signed have been not only none of them Gamba, they're all anti-Gamba, right? And
Yeah,
they're
but don't you
because
think
they're sold the same impression.
owners of
But-
Kick and Stake are probably hoping that those viewers end up also seeing the gambling
So-
categories,
yeah.
maybe
so now,
get curious.
So now, now
Nah.
you're doing speculation. And you're really talking for the owners and talking for you're making
No,
outlandish
we are,
assumptions.
we are
think you can assume
speculating,
that.
and I think this is
That's
a this is
fine.
a reasonable, educated guess to make.
Yeah.
Given how,
I'm not speaking
given,
for them or saying I heard this. I'm saying that's my theory, and
So,
I'm sure it's
I'm about to move on.
many people's
And,
theory.
I'm sorry, guys, we covered
will
this
you
all.
revert when things
I understand that in premise, but it is reachy because of the fact it's reachy in the sense of like none of the contracts are about getting the streamers to get watchers to gamble. None of these contracts are about that. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, to me, excuse me, I feel like this could go two routes. One of them is the Pokemon route. It could go that way. But, like, I kind of see it also going the other way. Maybe they were legitimately trying to make a competitor to Twitch. Maybe that was, like, their big intention. And so they're doing all of this with pulling people over because they're really trying to make it work. Maybe that is their one and only intention with it. Maybe. Because, like, it's not like they won't make money through it.
flip on the other side, or you can do it like all the time and just ignore it and just say
No,
"Ah,
because
whatever."
ultimately, even if they,
X, they're not even trying to profit off of their streamers. Where do you think the money's gonna come from?
Do you know something called tech? You know what tech is? Tech overall.
Technology?
Just the whole sector of tech. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I don't want to be patronizing you. Why are you so worried about profitability when none of this shit is profitable? None of it is. Like,
Because that's what we're discussing. We had the initial point that Kick is probably hoping to profit. Sorry, Stake is hoping to profit off of Kick as a marketing tool primarily for their crypto gambling
okay,
website.
so you don't think there's a chance that possibly on the roadmap, the point is to sign and clean the product up, to move away from gambling, to make a strong competitor. That's all that's streaming, done with the market, and then have profitable endeavors and arouse profitability and get there somehow, right? You don't think that's a possibility?
That also feels reachy. Actually, the thing about it is, I think I'm gonna resend my point. Because, like, I think he kind of hashed the alternative that I thought of earlier. I'm thinking both of these things are too reachy. I feel like we're missing something. I feel like we're missing like a key detail. Part of me feels like this might be like, I don't know, Amazon's, Twitch's ways to make like its own competition, so that way it doesn't actually have to like have real competition. It's like fake snake in the grass, right? Level of competition, maybe. Competitor, right? I don't know. I think I'm starting to lean towards that route, because like, if none of this is profitable, and yeah, they could be really trying to get like people over onto their gambling stuff, but like, I don't know. How poorly is their gambling stuff working to begin with? Like, it wouldn't surprise me if like just having like a couple of streamers that like maybe 2 is just good enough to just like kind of stream gambling, and then they'll be fine. I don't know. A lot of this is seeming a little reachy. And I'm thinking like, I don't know, there might be something shady going on. Some shady works.
You can be hashing that out.
So that's it. You bring up a really good point.
It can be a possibility, but it doesn't change its origins or where it's at right now.
Oh, so you can discredit where it's going and what's about because of where the money.
Hold on. Wait,
No,
can I just cut in here?
Two things was just why I personally wouldn't align with it.
Okay, let me just cut in here really quickly.
But like the sweatshops of Amazon, right? The money. The thing of it is, like, so what if the money's going? Wait, I just realized, why is like the idea of the money coming from like gambling like a bad idea? Like, the gambling itself isn't really that bad of an idea. It's when people get like addicted to it, or like when that money comes from like, you know, war crimes or something like that, when like you should be like, maybe this is like not that good. But yeah, no, not oh man, this is interesting.
So, okay, Felix, you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, are you saying that the reason why Stake is investing heavily into Kick is because they want to build up a competitive live streaming platform, not to market Stake or anything like that, but instead to become a primary force in the live streaming space on its own, with no genuine interest in like driving traffic to stake.com, and they're doing it in a way where they are like unimaginably unprofitable, while simultaneously giving Amazon money, like giving Amazon direct money in the form of both AWS and IVS, which is a copy paste of Twitch. It's like Twitch reskin, basically. And they're doing this because ultimately they want to take down Amazon's live streaming market share and become the main monopoly force in the live streaming space.
That's right.
This goes to the shady thing. It doesn't make sense on like a basic intellectual level, like on like fuck, that made it sound stupid, right? It doesn't make sense in like, why would they risk doing that? That doesn't make any sense. Have you seen any other competitors to Twitch? Twitch is deliberately doing whatever they want and monopolizing everything. And now they established an additionary competitor so that way they can continue to monopolize everything without it being a monopoly because there's a competitor. Shady stuff. I don't know. I feel like we sleeping on some of the shady stuff.
Okay, so Amazon owns AWS, right? As you know. And Amazon still is having a hard time, according to Amazon at least, creating a profitable space for Twitch, despite the fact that they have already monopolized the marketplace of live streaming.
There's a lot
Do
of
you
reasons
think
for
that
that.
Stake, which pays Amazon to even do live web hosting, would be able to ever reasonably become the monopoly force in the live streaming space?
I would turn that down real quick. I don't think that really makes a lot of sense because, like, obviously Amazon is going to be paying the same amount of money for the web hosting, regardless of how much it charges Twitch or Kick.
That is going to be normal.
Yeah.
The technology's not going to change.
Yeah,
It's
they're
always
still
gonna remain
incurring
way
the
it
same
is
cost.
right now.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm thinking Amazon is just monopolizing the competitive space between streaming platforms.
The same decision you're making, correct? That AWS is the only thing and will always remain, is always going to be like that. You're making the assumption by default that this is set in stone and will never change. The technology is just stopped improving on that, right?
No, I'm not making that assumption at all.
I mean, you kind of are by default. You are by default.
That you need physical servers to be able to operate a website. Live web hosting is expensive, like really expensive.
Yeah.
So expensive that the actual dominant force in the web service, the web hosting side of things, is having a hard time making their live streaming company, which already holds monopoly market share in the live streaming marketplace, profitable. The notion that Stake would become a competitive player while utilizing Amazon services and paying them literally a profitable amount to be able to to do this web hosting, which is part of the reason why, like, when you joined the website, it fell apart a little bit because, like, they didn't even have the bandwidth to do so. So they had to probably increase their bandwidth. Like, they had to go back to Amazon and ask for more.
Your expertise on server capacity and initial releases and whatnot is very limited. And when you talk about this shit, it falls on deaf ears. Okay, releases and day one stuff is always bound to drive more traffic. The same way that Blizzard, an industry leader in gaming, cannot have a stable release on day one. It's just too much, and that is to be expected.
You
in
can't
all
seriously.
Actually, that's not true. That's not true at all. Final Fantasy 14. All right, I'll play this game. I know stuff. Final Fantasy 14 had stable releases when it came to a couple of things, like the expansions prior, but it didn't have a stable release when this man started playing Final Fantasy and a new expansion came out. Then they had to go up quite a bit. Then they had to adapt. You're the same. Amazon probably would have been able to handle Kick because it's not getting shit in terms of anything. That's why they're getting big people over onto Kick. So that way, more traffic will show up on Kick and stuff like that. But it wasn't prepared for the magnitude that is you, XQC. Sometimes these I can't even point. These these people, these streamers, have such a big audience that when they do something different, the world doesn't know how to handle it.
Comparing yourself
in all
live
fields.
streaming on a website, which you can do on every other website perfectly fine,
Except Twitter.
to Blizzard releasing a game to an entire marketplace for the
How
first, like,
about-
Diablo launch is not comparable to you
Diablo
live
launch is pretty good.
streaming on Kick.
Yeah,
the reason why I'm
I
mentioning
didn't
this
hear
is
any
because,
issues.
yes, you're right, Activision Blizzard fucks up regularly with their services, but those services on release day are fucking, like, they have significantly more active users than you going from one website to the next. For example, here, I'll ask you a question. If you, tomorrow, decided to go to YouTube, let's say you got a contract at YouTube, it was a massive deal, and you moved over to YouTube and you live streamed for the first time, do you think you'd be able to effectively crash YouTube?
No. Yeah,
No, right? You wouldn't be able to crash YouTube, right?
No, let me talk now. Your knowledge of this is so limited. Since you went anecdotally about this, actually, I'm gonna use an example that actually happened only a couple months ago. The Squid Games event with all the YouTubers and streamers that we did on Twitch. What happened on that day? Twitch crashed, right? That drive, in comparison, these things happen. And that's the same thing.
It does.
That's the same ratio
Yes,
for
but
Kick.
now we're comparing 10 to 1,000. You know what I mean? That's the difference.
Not true.
Because
Not true.
the reason why I already understand that. I'm accounting for you going from one live streaming platform to
I don't even know what
another
this is about.
competent live streaming platform versus one live streaming platform that is like very
Maybe a
clearly
more
not ready for
comparable
the rate
thing
limit.
Is, has there ever been a large streamer who went from one platform to another and their first stream crashed said platform?
Wait,
Only
there's been
one
brawlers on
time.
Twitch done that crash website, yes.
There's been what?
There's been legends on Twitch that have crashed website.
No, yes, but
That's not
I
what
mean,
she said.
Right, and Hassan is saying those are at a different magnitude. So perhaps instead we
So the
can
goalpost
the
moving from
numbers
is it
we
possible
get.
to how big of a drive it is? Like this argument is not, we're not winning this argument. We went from the
Well,
size of
because there's-
YouTube,
because
the
there
size
are
of Twitch.
websites you can go to tomorrow and not crash them.
Wait, kick by
You can go
market
to
share.
Facebook, it wouldn't crash Facebook. You
Yeah.
would probably crash Twitter because they're also
You might
not
crash
ready for the
Facebook.
bandwidth and
Yeah,
not ready
they
to
had
like
that happen with
do
the
massive
DeSantis thing.
video
Wait,
live.
yeah,
know at
kick
this
is
point
smaller.
really proves
Wait,
that
bro,
doesn't prove to be
kick is
unethical.
smaller. What about it? Like, I don't know what you guys.
Yes.
That's
The
what
reason
That's
why I
what I'm saying,
mentioned
they
that
can't handle it.
They
Yeah.
the
just-
reason why
they
I mentioned
adjusted
that
the
wasn't
bandwidth.
to the reason why I mentioned that was to tell you that like Kick itself still had to go to Amazon that day and ask for more bandwidth so that they could handle one singular Twitch streamer moving onto their website with a real audience, unlike Aiden Ross, by the way, which never crashed the website for the record.
Oh, we're gonna get a tweet about that on
Yeah, we're gonna
I'm gonna go
tweet
put that
about
account on
that.
notifications.
Let's dial back.
Oh, we're gonna get one of those real quick.
I crashed it.
Kick is
So
smaller.
to your
Donna,
point-
no.
He's just not gonna like that.
What you're saying is that the technology won't change. No progress will be made, and there isn't a point where there's a possibility.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn it down. I'm gonna just talk about it, then we're gonna move on. Okay. Obviously, Kick is gonna make money for stake.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
Like everybody fucking knows that.
that's
This isn't
okay.
a secret. It's not a surprise. This isn't. Wait, what? Really? Of
It's
course
okay.
That's the way it
It's
is.
just-
That's what makes sense.
yeah.
But I do also think that they want to make Kick more than just a loss leader to stake. Absolutely. Of course they want to do that. That's of course their goal. Now, does that mean they're never going to have any if Kick is profitable? I think that Stake's goal is to make Twitch with gambling. That's it. That's what they want to do. Like, that is their best case scenario. We have everything that Twitch has, but we also have gambling. So it's not like they're going to get rid of gambling. No, they're just going to have it on the platform.
That's valid.
There's 100% guarantee that if you're not signed, you won't get, you'll be recommended to 2 gambling streamers out of the 5 at our side. Well, I don't know. It depends, right? Twitch also has gambling. Oh, sorry. Get crypto gambling, like stake, basically. Like, I mean, unregulated crypto gambling. Well, I don't know if it's regulated over there. I have no idea. But like, basically, stake. That's what really matters.
Just streaming, stake streaming.
Other advertisers push stake off Twitch. They won't suddenly advertise at their site. Yeah, but you can have other types of advertisement. And also, it could matter the rates that they're advertising at. For example, if they're able to make a lot of money through stake, it might be worth it to take cheaper ad rates from worse advertisers because they're already making enough money through stake to begin with. You see what I'm saying? So stake will subsidize, and the conversions will subsidize the amount of people that go over to Kick. That's just, it's common sense. And Amazon will not stop providing service to Kick. They will not do that. The reason why, even if Amazon is competing directly against them, and the reason why they will not do it is because it sets such an awful precedent in the market. Like, you have to remember, Amazon Web Services is like a multi-billion-dollar thing, and they provide services to like literally probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of companies. If the idea is out there that if you are competing directly with an Amazon subsidiary, that Amazon will just strategically shut down your service in order to make themselves stronger, everybody will leave AWS or AWS. And like, this is not even talking about legal stuff. I'm talking about like just straight up like business. Even if it's not illegal, it sets a horrible precedent, and they would never, ever, ever go down that road. I feel like Amazon would probably rather, because you think like, this is Amazon, okay? This is how big Amazon is. This is Twitch, okay? And
Valid.
Amazon Web Services are bigger than all of Twitch. They are fucking smaller? Yeah. They are fucking massive. Wake. Oh, what did Wake say? Fuck. Did I miss his message? Let me see. User. Oh fuck. No, they want Twitch with gambling. Yeah, exactly. Without whatever regulations and restrictions that clearly make it enormously lucrative. Plenty of gambling. Yeah, they do want Twitch with gambling. Yep, there you go. Absolutely. Is it the same thing Samsung and Apple are rivals, but Apple still use components in their phones that are made by Samsung? Yeah, that's the way it goes. That's common sense. So yeah, obviously that's going to be to their benefit. Like, Amazon isn't going to shut them out because it would hurt them in the market. And also, like, you have to keep in mind, like, so Amazon is providing web services to Twitch and also to Kick, right? So one could assume that the cost of those web services are probably relatively similar. It's not like it costs a lot more money for them to host Kick than it does for them to host Twitch. Like, I'm talking about like a baseline price, a baseline cost. So because Twitch doesn't get free to AWS, well, AWS isn't free. It still costs money to run. Does that make sense? So you still have to make AWS run. And the cost between how much it makes, how much it costs to run, and how much Amazon is making from profit, there is absolutely a world where Amazon is actually making more money off of Kick than Twitch. Because Kick is providing them a raw service that has no secondaries, there's probably no insider deal, and the profit margin on the web service hosting from Kick is actually providing a higher return on investment than the web service that they're providing to Twitch. You see what I'm saying? Question should be if Twitch would have allowed gambling fully, would Kick exist at all? Probably not. No, there'd be no reason for Kick to exist. Would you moderate the discussion if they ask you? I don't want to invest. I don't want to involve myself. Like anytime that I ever do, people always try to like get streamers to talk with each other and stuff. So I don't like to force content. You know, if they want to do that, that's up to them. But like I don't want to force content. It's weird.
All right, I'm gonna wrap that up there. So, yeah, I mean, like, it's pretty much what Asmongold said. Like, yeah, money's gonna be going to all the places. The biggest reason why I think Pokimane even has like a real stake in not going to like Kick is because she had like outed Kick like right off the bat, and like, you know, if you're going to do that, then yeah, you just look like a super sellout. If you try to like, you know, it'll just make you look bad. I think XQC has more hopes for Kick than what will actually be achieved. Unless if he's able to somehow make it to where he's the driving force behind the decisions that Kick makes, right? Unless if he manages to do that, then like what we're looking at a Twitch with even more gambling. That's pretty much it. In terms of who's getting money, the big companies are always going to be getting money. That's how it always ends up happening, or else they wouldn't be able to do any of the stuff that they do. In terms of being an ethical consumer, you're not. It's okay. Move on with your life.